Good morning. I'm out for a snowshoe walk this morning. I'll show you guys a few different things today. Maybe see some fresh tracks. One of the things I wanted to talk about, you see this beautiful white spruce here. It's got notches on it on both sides. This is a trail I've been using for, my goodness, close to 20 years. And you can see how the notches have healed in the tree. In nature, nothing really goes to waste. And the old days, they used to mark trails, prospectors, trappers, so on, used to mark these trails with notches on the trees, no fancy ribbons and all that stuff that's kind of plasticky, and yeah, they eventually disappear. But they used to notch the tree both sides. You see how it's completely healed over. And if you look up at that tree, well, I'll back up a bit, but you'll see that tree's nice and healthy. And still got all green tops. There, look at that. Nice big trees. They gotta be 40 feet plus. Nice big trees, healthy. Anyways, so beautiful day for a walk. It's I think -2 intimates right now, which is not a bad day. Oh, we got tracks on our trail here. Oh, it's coyote. I believe that's coyote tracks. Yeah, came through the bush here, and he came down my trail. Cool. Yeah. Just looking for anything they can eat. There's not a real fresh, but a rabbit run there. And we'll carry on here a little bit. What else is interesting? We'll be back. Come for a walk. Okay, we're back across the snowmobile trail and keep walking on my trail. There's another one of those notches, blazes they call them, on one of the pine trees. And again, like I said, I did that about, oh God, close to 20 years ago. And you look at the tree up there, it's still green, nice and healthy. And there's more over here, same thing. Sorry for, maybe I'm moving too fast with the phone. But anyways, yeah, things like that in nature, they fix themselves up. Well, not always, some die, but a lot of them survive. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, what else is interesting in here? Nice walk. Better than sitting watching TV or drinking coffee. I drink too much coffee as it is. Yeah, get the fresh air, the exercise. You want to feel good? Get out there. Do something. Yeah, there's a rabbit track there. Coming through, and yeah, I think just rabbit. I'm looking for lynx tracks. I know they're back here. If you've seen my other videos, this is where he comes from, back here. A neighbor of mine seen one up the road the other day, which was pretty cool. I didn't get close to it, but it was still nice to see. Yeah, I'm sure they were excited. They're quite a majestic animal. Pretty neat. But then again, they follow the cycle of rabbits. If rabbits about every 7 years die off in pockets, different locations. Not everywhere, but large pockets of population drop off, so they don't overpopulate. And then the lynx population follows the next year, they crash. Regardless if you harvest lynx, don't harvest lynx, or rabbits, it doesn't matter. Nature takes care of it, up and down. And yeah, that's how that works. In case people didn't know that, there's lots out there. Most of the animals, or a lot of the animals, are nocturnal. That's why people don't see them. They say, oh, there's none here, they're endangered, and they really don't have an idea, Oh, there's grouse tracks. I don't know if you can see the little footprints there. Hopefully my phone picks it up. But that's ruffle grouse. And that's a little rabbit nugget. Yeah. Coming up to a spot here. I want to show you something else too. In nature, in the boreal forest, the bush we call it, what happens is trees die naturally. They die regardless of you know what's going on. Regardless, sometimes the wind breaks them, stuff like that. Storm, snow, excessive snow, things like that. There's that growth's been through here. Walk right through here. There's his tracks right there. Yeah, I should be able to see that good. Okay. Anyways, this old jack pine tree I want to show you. If you look at it, in fact, I'll try zooming in here. You can see the holes that are put in there. What that is woodpeckers. The woodpeckers that do those holes could be the hairy woodpecker, it could be the pileated woodpecker, and probably other ones. But what they're looking for is grubs in there. Carpenter ants will get into these, and other insects I'm sure, will get into this old dead wood and they eat it, and it's food for them. But the carpenter ants, the woodpeckers, they want to eat the ants themselves and the larvae. They have a mechanism, or I guess a method of hearing them in there, and they're able to know what tree to start picking at and get their food out of there. Pretty amazing. Anyways, these holes that they make become nesting cavities for other things like squirrels, birds, and if it's big enough, maybe even a pine marten, they'll nest in there and raise their young in a safe location out of weather and out of other predators. Because in nature, it's eat or be eaten. That's the way it goes. So, yeah. So I just want to show you that nothing goes to waste. This tree eventually will fall down. Okay? It'll fall over. It'll become earth. The mushrooms and fungi and other insects and that will devour it, and it'll turn to earth. And good fertilizer for the other trees around. That's how it works. And everything's interconnected under the earth through a mycorrhizal fungi, they say, which is like a web, and it connects everything. Anyway, so this is what it looks like in some locations. Not everything's like this. You get these patches of what we call tag holders. It's a real jackpot to walk through. Makes a mess. But anyways, we'll carry on my trail here. So we'll turn it off for a second and then come back to interesting points if there's something more interesting for you guys to see. There you go. Oh yes, look at that. Rabbit went running through there. Yeah, in a hurry. Something chasing him. Yeah, you can see his tracks there. Something's chasing him. And of course our rough grouse is still walking around, which is cool to see. There's the partridge tracks. Okay, in a bit. Okay, back to the woodpeckers. You can see here the grouse tracks and a rabbit track there. But woodpeckers, they go after any dead tree. And you can see here in the snow, you can see the bark pieces of wood flying. And basically what they did is they made a little hole there, looking for some grubs. Yeah, pretty cool. That's new, that's fresh. Last time, a couple days ago, I was here and I didn't see that. So I'd point that out. Yeah, we'll carry on just a little bit more open in here, and then I go up and thicker stuff and on and on. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, we're back. The cluster of rabbits in here, there's quite a few rabbits, and of course the predators are after them. I can see fresh coyote tracks on my trail here. You can see their footprints right there. He come across there, and he's a looking. They're looking for good. Actually, that one's big enough to be a wolf track. Yeah, I believe that's a wolf that went through there. Yes, it is. But on my track here, I believe is a coyote. Interesting. Well, they're pretty much the king of predators out here, the wolves. They can take down just about anything they want to. Young, old, sick, not sick, healthy. They can take down what they want. A pack of them are pretty good. Yeah, there's one of those notches, like I said. Tree's still nice and healthy. Yep. See? They heal. It's all good. No different than a branch breaking off or something like that. Yeah. What else we got in here? Grab the tracks on my snowshoe trail. And there's going to be another one of those logs up here. Well, not logs, but, well, old broken stump. There's an older, that's probably that wolf. Yeah, see, he came down that hill there. Came right down there. Come through there looking for goodies. Came across. Yeah. I've seen his tracks in here before. A couple different, right in this area. Close to this. Yeah. Anyways, back to the woodpecker things. Woodpecker trees. You can see this tree right up ahead here. This log. It's an old poplar tree. Some people call them aspen. Well, it's got a pretty good hole in it. Probably enough for little critters to make a nest in there. Squirrels definitely big enough for that. But then again, another animal like a pine marten or something will make a nest out of the squirrel's nest and have the squirrel for lunch. And that's the way it works in nature. Yeah. Anyways, cool. Something I want to talk about. There's that wolf track. Yeah, he's walking on my trail now. Yeah, something I want to talk about here is, oh yeah, I see he made a turn and went that way. Oh, and he left his calling card. Oh my, very nice, thank you. Yeah, that's a wolf. Definitely heavy enough to sink on my snowshoe trail. We've had mild weather, so. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about is Timmins is the city with a heart of gold, I guess they call it. It's very, been in history a long time. Timmins has been a mining town. Gold, silver, nickel, and other iron ores and different materials that the miners look for here, the mining companies look for. And they create employment and keep the economy going and all that stuff, like anywhere else. People got to work to make a living to survive, and yeah. But years ago, there have been many prospectors in this area, and you know, before roads, railways, it was all summertime mostly. Well, sometimes snowshoes in the winter, but they had to have cabins and whatnot. And this spot here, I want to show you this whole cabin here. Probably not a prospector's cabin or an old trapper's cabin. It's probably some local kids or something, but as you can see, the roof's collapsed and that. Eventually it'll turn to dust. It'll be nature, you know, over time. But they built cabins like that along their trails, and what they did is they needed a place to stay. They can't travel back and forth, you know. It's not like go to work and come back the same day or after a week or a month. So they'd stay out in the bush, and basically that's what it looked like, these cabins. Old cabins, and like I said, they needed a shelter, and that's what they did. They built these little cabins. They weren't very big. The ceilings were pretty low too, most of them. I've seen some that weren't collapsed, and I got inside, and yeah, they keep them pretty small for heating purposes and that. Anyways, yeah. So here we are. We're coming up to an old beaver pond here. There's no resident beaver there now. What happens is the food, their desired food, dwindles off eventually, and they move on. They move either up the way or down the way. They'll go different locations. Possibly the predators got them, wolves, bears, a trapper, but eventually there'll be more that come back. This was something else I wanted to show you. Of course, there's black bears here. Timmins is known for lots of black bears. And this tree here, okay, I've seen this for quite a few years now. And what it is, you could see in the markings here, Okay, that's a bear. Stands up, turns his head, and he bites the tree. Okay, rips the bark off, and he might claw at it a little bit too. Of course, this one's pretty much pooched now. Maybe a little bit green still, but you can see the old marks in here. These marks, that's a bear with his teeth marking it. And what they do, that's for marking their territory. It's not a sign of aggression or stay out of my territory or anything like that. It's just marking their area. And of course, they probably urinate and defecate and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's how they mark their spot. That's what bears do. And I've seen that many, many times, many locations. And sometimes they're higher than others. So they say, you know, when the markings are higher, the other bears see that and say, ooh, that's a big guy. We better stay away. You know, things like that. So anyways, this is what an old beaver pond looks like. Again, not much water in here right now, but we're gonna head across this. But at one time, the water was probably up another 3-4 feet. Fill the beaver backfill it, make themselves a home, and make a house. Oh, there's a weasel track going across. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So they make themselves a house, and they live under the ice. They make a food cache. They cut the branches and have their desired food, mostly poplar and birch, and a little bit of green stuff like maybe cedar, a little bit of pine, tag alders on top, mostly for weighing it down, but they do eat some of that and eat the bark under the ice. They don't come out. They're safe in the dark all winter long. They come out, they feed, they go back in their house, and they just stay there. No TV, no nothing. Just in nature. It's the way it is. Yeah, so for people who don't know or didn't know, that's how it works. Yeah. You can see old tracks. Predators like lynx and wolves and fox and whatnot. They're all looking for those guys. They're looking for beaver. They're looking for muskrat. They're looking for easy meals. To them, those are a lot of their main prey. And at certain times of the year, they're more accessible than others. And other times, there's that hump right there, probably an old beaver house there at one time, you know. And a few years ago, I'd say maybe 8-10 years ago, this pond was alive. There was beaver in here, but it's dry now, or mostly dry. The creek comes through. Nice walking. Take you guys for a walk. One of the things I want to show you, you see here, see that hole? You avoid that stuff. You don't want to go for a swim. So I go around, crossing these little creeks. Can't get your behind wet. And even though it's not super cold, it's a good half-hour walk back to the house. And I don't want to go for a swim, so we'll avoid that. We'll go around. You can see the open water there. Yeah, stay away from that. Cool. Okay, we'll shut this down for a second, and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. You can see here in front of me a good rabbit run. Decent anyways. And what they do is they follow the same trail. And they mark their little territory along the way. They eat the little niblets of branches and whatnot, basically along the way as they're going. And that's how they follow their trail. I wouldn't say they don't want to get lost, but because they're in the bush, home is the bush. Yeah, keeps them in line. They make these little runs, and easier going on top of the soft snow too, I guess, eh? Once the trail's packed like a snowshoe trail, makes it a little easier to travel. Breaking trails, especially in the real deep snow, is a little bit harder to do. Yeah. I would imagine these locations, see how the bush changes? Different in here. I would imagine these locations would be explored by prospectors years ago. I've never been in here in the summer. Someday I'm going to come for a walk. Maybe this summer will be the one. And we'll come in here and see different tracks and see what's going on. Any signs of old exploration and whatever. This little cabin up here, not a cabin. It's I'd call it the coffee shop. The reason I call it the coffee shop, it ain't no coffee. There's no Tim Hortons here. Not there, anyways. I used to walk across here, bring a little bit of coffee and sit down, have a coffee, just listen to the bush, listen to the sounds, the peace and quiet in the winter. It doesn't matter how cold it is. I enjoyed it. You know, you get dressed for the weather, and you get to see and listen to different sounds. Rabbits underneath here, but it's pretty run down. Got indoor outdoor carpeting. Nah, no shag rug. Pretty quiet. Pretty much pooched. Ooh, up we go. Up. There we go. Yeah. So eventually that'll collapse. Might come get that tin someday. Maybe. We'll see. I hate to see garbage in the bush, but oh well. It's all over the place. It's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Carry on here. Okay. We're back. I'm on an old road. The prospectors, mining companies, they send these drilling companies in the bush. And what they do is they pick up signals for certain locations for the mineral content, I guess, or what could be possibly mineral content in the ground. So they'll send them out to do drill holes and whatnot. A little bit hard walking here today. Yeah, they'll send them out to do drill holes and to see if there's anything that makes sense for them, that they might do more exploration, drilling, blasting, to see if there's anything good in there. And then eventually, that's how mines are discovered. Not every location, of course. It would be too easy. But in some location, this hump up ahead here, that hill, that's where they did one of those trenches. They sent an excavator in here and probably opened it up to see if there's anything good in there, maybe a vein of gold or something like that. Probably not, but you never know. That's what they do. That's how they explore mineral-wise. They, when I was young, used to cut lines and everything. Today, everything's done electronically. They register their mining claims and so on, pay the amount of money they need to do to pay it, and they hold it, and then they're required to do so much work every year or a couple years to keep it. But yeah, that's a trench they made, and they dig in the rocks. Something too, look at this. You see this little poplar? Got a fairly fresh break. Not super fresh, but moose. That's moose. And the reason I know that, and moose are browsers, meaning they eat the tips of branches. Okay? And you can see here how they chewed the tip right there. They chew the tip of the branches. They eat that. You can see these this little birch here. They chew the tip off of these, and they just mosey along through the bush and eat as they go. They gotta eat a lot of food to feed that big belly. They're a big animal. And yeah, so that's what they do. They got preferred foods at certain times, but that's how they do it. Yeah, anyways. So, just something I wanted to show you. Not real fresh. A couple years ago, I had taken some pictures here of just down there, moose lying in the snow, and you could see their beds that they were there. There was at least 2, maybe 3, I think, and probably a cow and a calf, maybe a cow-calf bull, whatever. And they were in the snow. And they're a big animal, and they're quite warm even in the cold weather. And they melt the snow, and then of course leave their calling cards behind when they get up and leave sometimes. But yeah, I showed people these tracks, but yeah, that's what this is. We'll turn around. I'll head back down this way now. I'm gonna go to a road. They're drilling back here, not right here, a couple miles from here. They're drilling, doing some more exploration work. And you never know, down the road, maybe someday, might be some mine activity back here. I guess we'll see. Time will tell. Okay, I'll be back. Look at this. 29th of January in Timmins. And we got a little spring on the road here, a little puddle. That's not even frozen. And the grouse knows it's there, or found it. Came for a little drink. You can see his footprints, his dirty little footprints coming up and crossing my snowshoe trail. Yeah, pretty cool. Came for a little drink. Ain't that neat, eh? Cool. We're going that way. Okay. Right there, what you're looking at there is a wolf trail. Probably a pack of wolves. At least 2, maybe more. And what they do at this time of the year, of course, is looking for food. And they're going to follow the trail. But the last time I came through here, there was moose tracks in these tracks. And what they do is they follow their tracks. And they're hunting the moose. And in nature, it's a pretty cool way to go. But it's just natural. That's the way it works. And the moose don't actually jump on the wolves don't actually jump on the moose. What they do is they follow them, and then eventually they get a bite at their back leg, their hind leg. They take a nip at it. Oh, there's a pileated woodpecker, I think. Pretty loud. Cool. Just like the one at my place, maybe the same one. Anyways, so what they do is they nip at the back leg, and it starts to bleed, of course. Yeah, it's cruel. Cruel, but natural. That's the way it works. Anyways, they nip at the back leg, and then the moose bleeds, and they follow the track. And it doesn't matter if it takes a day, 2 days, 3 days. Doesn't matter. Day, night. They'll follow behind without getting hurt, because these moose are big animals. They can hurt them, with their foot or their horns or whatever. And eventually the moose runs out of blood, runs out of energy, falls down, and then they get on top of him. And yeah, he's still a little bit alive, I guess, at the time. But I've seen it. I followed their tracks before. And yeah, it's pretty gruesome. But that's the way it is in nature. That's the way they take care of them. Eat, like I said, eat or be eaten. They want to survive too, so yeah. It ain't Disneyland out here, folks. It's a real bush. More grouse tracks. Ruffle grouse. Quite a few tracks today. Grouse tracks. Crossing the trail back and forth. And at least 2 here, maybe 3 for sure. Pretty cool. Anyways, I'm getting up the snowmobile trail. We're going to end this for today, I guess, unless there's something else interesting down the trail. Yeah. But yeah, you can see they've been back in here. The wolves, they got a big footprint, and the distance apart, they make a pretty big track. Yeah. And usually, I've seen it, where one footprint on top of the other footprint on top of the other footprint, almost toenail to toenail. They do that for energy saving, for safety. That's a little pea post there. Okay, I got a phone call. Gotta go. Hope you enjoy. Bye.